Hey everyone. My name is Daniel Carter, and the story I'm about to tell you happened about 3 years ago. See, when I was 22 years old, I was currently serving in the Army National Guard in Orlando, Florida, and I was very excited to be a soldier. It's been a dream for me to become a soldier, and on July 20th, 2025, I was doing my daily workout routine, lifting weights and doing some cardio. As I was exercising on the treadmill, though, I overheard a couple of guys sitting on a bench, and they were talking about us going on a mission to go to the abandoned Nickelodeon studios to investigate the reports of, kids going missing inside of the studios. After I finished working out, I really couldn't forget what those guys said, and it's been on my mind for the past 5 days or so. So, during lunch, I saw the same person talking about the Nickelodeon Studios conversation, and I told him hello, and that if I could ask him a question. Sure, go ahead. Where did you hear about this whole Nickelodeon Studios? I replied back with a worried expression. Well, I overheard Colonel Ortega talking about it with another guy that I really didn't recognize, he replied. After that, I decided to go outside to get some fresh air, and a thought hit me. What if this Creepypasta-esque type story is true, about kids going missing and the rumors about that no good piece of shit Dan Schneider being abusive and creepy on the set? And a few people have already spoken out about Dan Schneider behind the scenes, such as Jeanette McCurdy and Amanda Bynes. When I heard these stories that these people told about what he did to them, I just wanted to beat the living shit out of that man. Nowadays I try not to read any more of those stories and rumors, but I couldn't help but research more about this case after sitting outside and thinking for a bit. 12 minutes went by, and I noticed it on the clock that it was 7:30, and that I needed to go back to my dorm. So I brushed my teeth and went to bed. The next morning, I woke up, ate my breakfast, did some more training, and played basketball with my peers. 3:30 p.m. arrived, and I was called to go into Colonel Ortega's office. I entered the room, and Colonel Ortega said, "Private Carter, please take a seat." I sat down, and asked if I did something wrong. "No, you didn't do anything wrong. I just want to ask you about something. What do you know about the Nickelodeon studios?" he asked. I responded, "Well, all I know is that I heard this story about kids going missing in the studios and all the accusations about Dan Schneider." Long story short, Colonel Ortega asked if I would like to volunteer on this search and rescue mission. I was taken aback, but I immediately replied yes, that I would volunteer. Good. So we leave to go to the place at 5 p.m. "How's tomorrow afternoon sound?" Colonel Ortega asked. That night, I decided to secretly research about this studio, and I heard about this story called "The Reason Why Nickelodeon Studios Disappeared." I was curious, and I kept thinking that the possibility of this being real. After 7 minutes of researching, I finally went to bed. I didn't really find much. The next morning, I woke up, had breakfast, and began training yet again for an hour. And after I did that, I went to grab my gear to get ready for this mission. I will admit, I was very nervous about this mission, because I kept thinking about the rumors and the creepypasta stories, about Nickelodeon Studios possibly being true. I just shrugged my shoulders, thinking maybe I was being a little bit too paranoid. "You guys got 10 minutes to do what you have to do before we deploy to the site," Colonel Ortega replied. Well, since I had 10 minutes to do what I needed to do, I went to the bathroom to do my business. And after that, I just started to feel very nervous about this mission. I kept thinking for the next 3 minutes. "Alright guys, time to go," Colonel Ortega said. We did exactly that. He said to get on the Humvees, so I got in, sat down, and then we rode over to the studios. Took us about 15 to get there. As we arrived there, we got out of the Humvees, and there were about 23 men with us on this mission. Studios Park was closed. "Well, Daniel, you're here. Didn't expect my first deployment would be at Nickelodeon Studios," I said to myself right away after my curiosity kicked in. We saw about 10 FBI agents and 6 investigators, and I was thinking to myself, what the hell was going on? I mean, what information do they know that we don't? I thought to myself. The colonel introduced us to the agents and the investigators. He introduced us to Agent Lee, who was leading this investigation, and then he asked us if we had any questions. Right away, I raised my hand. I asked him what this mission was all about. "Well, that's classified, sir," he replied back with a serious face, and I kept thinking that they must know something that we all don't. Shortly afterwards, Lieutenant Enrique told us that we were about to begin. That we were going to enter this building, and that we don't know what's lurking in it. So take precautions at all times. Understood? "Yes, sir, Lieutenant," we all said. Then we approached the main entrance to the building, and as we got to the door, I could have sworn I saw someone at the corner of the studio. I just ignored it, and I think it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. But anyways, as I was saying, we approached the door, and then we entered. "Okay, guys, keep an eye on your surroundings," Colonel Ortega said. I guess this was it. Here goes nothing.